You are listening to P.o.p. Presents, and I'm P.o.p., also known as Walter Ivy. Now, I decided to do this podcast while driving home in the rain in the beginning of April. This podcast episode is called Rhythm of the Rain. So I figured while I'm driving home in this beautiful rain, this is the perfect time to talk about this topic. And I just wanted to touch on my history and the history of where my love affair with the rain began and how it got all the way here to 2025. I believe the first time that I really recognized and had an indelible memory about the rain was one of my first teenage loves. It was something right out of a romance movie. One of our first kisses. We were in her living room, and I would just remember the backdrop was pouring down rain, and it just was. To be 16 years old, it just was so epic and romantic, and I just never forgot that memory. All these years later, still stays with me, and honestly, I think that's where it began because I just never forgot that. And after that, I went many years without even thinking about the rain until probably about 6 years later, right after a breakup, I started to get into music. I didn't have any instruments before. I bought a guitar. I was already a writer and a rapper. But I bought a guitar, and I wanted something productive and constructive to do with my time. And, at the time, I was listening to a lot of guitar-centered music, singer-songwriter, more introspective music at the time. So, after going through that breakup, just being able to strum those chords and write what was in my heart at the time, it came out so natural, and I was able to really able to transfer what was going on within me through my words and through the guitar. It's really coming down raining right now, but hey, that's what this podcast is about. The podcast is about the rain, and it's actually pouring down raining right now. So, hey, I don't have to do too much music. Sure, it's providing the music. The clouds here. So, back to the story. Where was I? Yeah, so I met a young lady named Genevieve, and we met on the bus stop or something like that, and we had a great conversation. I told her what I was into. I told her that I write and record music, and I invited her over to hear some. She was open to come over, hear some of what I had, and she came over. An evening. I remember I had a studio efficiency apartment. Wasn't that big at all, but it's real cozy. And she came over, pulled out the guitar, and started singing to her all of my sad and hurtful breakup songs. And it really resonated with her. You could tell when somebody is focused and really into what you're doing. And she was connected. She was connected. She was interested. Like, she was very moved by my lyrics. And, while I was singing, I had the lyrics in front of her, and she was reading my lyrics as I was singing the song. So um, it was a very immersive experience for her, for Genevieve. And it definitely was one of the best musical experiences that I've ever experienced. I felt like I was playing the show. That was a show of the audience of one. And I've written about the me and Genevieve story. I call it Ghost in the Rain many times, and I believe that story, that experience of playing these very moody and deep and profound songs, like While It Was Raining Outside, it really provided some great memories in the rain. So that was my second really impactful memory about the rain. So, and after that, I continued to do music, but it's after that it was a long gap. After that, it was a very extremely long gap. After that, I have a gap in the story because I'm parking somewhere just to be still. But after that, fast forward to 2015, and once again, the rain and another breakup as artists. My marriage ended, and I just remember it's something when you're married like for 5 years or whatever, and you're used to that person being there, that person being there next to you, like all the time. It's really it's really a transition. It's really a transition to get used to being alone again. And I just remember it was this one evening. I rented a movie called The Most Violent Year, and I remember this very vividly. I was sitting in my living room, just relaxing all alone, about to watch this movie, and Marvin Gaye's song "Inner City Blues" start coming on. You start hearing the conga drums, and Marvin starts singing, and then I start hearing the pitter patter of raindrops on my rooftop and on the ceiling. It couldn't have been more perfect because I was going through a separation. I was going through a breakup at the time, so it was tough. It was a tough moment, and I felt like at that moment, God and nature was giving me a hug and letting me know that everything was going to be all right. So that was the third most impactful moment in the rain. So these three moments in my history, these three different times, really solidified my relationship with the rain. Then after that, 2020, I started walking, and I remember the first time I walked in the rain. It was so transformative. It was so transformative. It was just so transformative and peaceful and serene. Just being able to hear my thoughts and just nobody outside. I really was able to drift into that flow state And every time I walked in the rain, whatever mood that I was in, it always would take me to that level of comforting that I needed. And so when every time I would take that walk in the rain, I would come right back in and write a journal about it. I will write a journal, or I will write a poem, and that just start becoming my thing, and I just start falling in love with the rain. And I'm still walking in the rain. Every time it rains, I put my raincoat on and my rain shoes, and I go out there and listen to my favorite audiobook. Or sometimes I just walk and just listen to the rain. Listen to the rain and listen to my feet splashing in the puddles. That's all I really need. Simple things. So that's my story on the rain, and I'm going to play this song called Rhythm of the Rain, and that song was created once again after another breakup. And I'm not sure why I connect the rain and being comforted through breakup so much, but I can't really explain it. But you probably can come up with your own conclusion. But I don't know. It's a spiritual connection. But I recorded a song called "Rhythm of the Rain," and my producer at the time. I told him, the track, I want the beat to sound like, I want it to be a hybrid of the beat and raindrops. And I watched the producer create this right before my eyes, and the track came out just the way I wanted it to come out. And I recorded 2 verses, and afterwards, a couple months later, I added the people in the city and the rain and the ambiance, and it just reminded me of taking a walk in my neighborhood. Now I live in an urban neighborhood. There's always buses and cars, and that's my world and that's my universe. So that's my story, and this track is called The Rhythm of the Rain. I thank you for listening. I'm P.o.p.
Rhythm of the rain. As the rain beats again on my window pane, I flow on and go on to precipitation's refrain. Same old same, sitting here reflecting, contemplating, shaping my destiny, and rise above all the hating, the skepticism. My rays of faith shine like a prism. This gift I've been given, clever colloquialisms and reflective compositions. I've risen up from rejection's ash. Now this world will feel my successful wrath. All the ones who laughed and didn't believe, well, they have to pay no hookups for free. The vision you didn't see was the hunger in me. Yeah, I'm grounded in reality. In my dreams, I feel so free. The limit's the sky. I reach uncharted highs. With these hopeful wings, I will fly. It's time to do and not try. I take the sackcloth off my eyes and wave my troubles goodbye and watch the raindrops as the clouds continue to cry. The showers outside envelop my home. The droplets beat on the skylight like a metronome. No music, no phone. I'm left all alone, listening to the buses and the cars as they roam. Splash as puddles crash into the sidewalks. Look out my urban window as I reminisce and sulk. And my faults, regrets, some hurts I just can't forget. When we used to create our own beat, the rhythm had us soaking wet. Heavens open and just let her memory wash away. Flooded like Katrina, gray clouds will rip sunny days. This downpour has me in a daze. Nature's heartbeat has me so amazed. The melodic ways, it inspires me to write these chaotic days that I call my life. This plight that I'm in will not be in vain. When this watery snare stops, I'll never be the same. Rhythm of the rain.